right, Beneil, man, thank you so much for the time. You got a big fight coming up March
No problem.
7th in Las Vegas. When was the last time you fought in Las Vegas? Has it been a while?
It's been a couple of years, yeah. It's been a while. I think last one was Hernandez.
Do you like fighting in Vegas, or would you rather be fighting somewhere in some remote location?
I like Vegas because it's close, it's convenient. So there's that. But lately I've started to like going kind of far away. Like it was nice to fight in Wichita. It was nice to fight a little bit further away. I don't mind doing that as well.
All right, well, I saw that you recently got married, man. How has that been being married and living that lifestyle?
Married life is cool. I felt pretty married before. I didn't really. I think the only difference is that there was a party, so I don't feel a big difference.
Yeah, it seems like those are the best marriages, the ones that you already felt married before you actually get married.
Yeah, I mean we didn't live together, but now we live together as well. But then my house is under construction, so yeah, it's definitely a trip. Looking forward to the whole thing.
Yeah, big things going on in your life. You're moving forward with your life and moving forward with your fight career. But before we get into all the fight stuff, I saw that you took a trip out to Asia after your last fight. You actually fought in Asia, but then you took another trip out there and you visited a few countries, you did some work. What was the purpose of the trip out there except for climbing trees to find coconuts?
The trip I went to Philippines, Thailand, and Cambodia. It's a missionary trip. I spread the gospel. I believe Judeo Christian values are what's going to change this world for the better, and that's what I try to spread.
Is it better for you since you do have somewhat of a celebrity to your name when you go out there?
Yeah, since we actually use martial arts as a way to spread the gospel, so that usually works out. We'll go. The Philippines has areas where there's like a ton of homeless, and just to get them come to us, we'll put on a martial arts demonstration where I hit mitts or do some grappling, and we'll do a feeding program as well. When I go to speak at churches, I'll invite people to train with me. I'll be like, hey, you guys want to grapple? Let's see what you got. You can, you get a chance. You get a chance to beat up a UFC fighter.
Any surprises out there? You run into some people that are like, "Oh, you got some skills, kid. You might want to start
Yeah,
training."
for sure. I think Filipino people might be some of the most talented people I've ever met. They can dance, they can sing, they can fight. They can do whatever you want, man. They really can. It's incredible.
All right, well, that sounded like a great trip. Kind of like even for the soul, right? Like just meeting people and hearing people's stories, and yeah, I know you're spreading what you spread, but you get to like kind of feel their vibes too.
It's wonderful, man. It's wonderful. You get to see how the world lives. I consider myself very privileged to get to live in America. When I get to go to places like that and I get to hear other people's story and their life, it's humbling. So it really is awesome.
All right, well, now your fight career, resurgence. You're entering your 30s. You're on a 3-fight win streak. You're edging back into the rankings. What is the difference for you? What is different about you?
You- Honestly, the biggest thing has been just being healthy. Um, well, I had a lot of neck issues for a while, and those neck issues didn't allow me to train the way I would like to train, and also affected my ability to fight. So that was one of those things where it was really difficult, and I didn't even know what the issue was. And then once we kind of figured it out, that really helped.
Did you figure it out while you're on this streak, or was it before the streak started
No,
where
no, before.
you got it all
So
figured out?
when I was losing 2 years straight,
Mhm.
I couldn't figure it out. I just thought I was getting older, where I would do like a practice, and then I would have to take like a whole day off after the practice. I normally train two days, no problem, even when I don't have a fight. And then when I just started getting like my neck would give me back pain, I just was like, well, I'm 28, I'm 29, maybe that's what it is. And it actually wasn't that. It was my neck. I was having a lot of issues with my neck. I had to get more massages and things like that, but they weren't really fixing it. Once we figured out I had some issues with my neck, I had some, what are they called, bulges or whatever. we had to do specific therapy for it before it could get better. And I have to do the therapy for the rest of my life, from what they tell me. But I'm normal, I'm back to normal where I can train 2 a days. I can train sometimes 3 a days if the practices are lighter. So it's been a great thing for me because I was really contemplating retiring.
Oh, damn, that is some major issues right there. But yeah, it's great that you got it figured out and you figured out what you needed to move on with your career. Now moving forward with your career, do you feel like when you enter a fight, you have to be the closest to 100%, don't rush into anything? Because I think every single fight from now on is, of course, every fight is important, but to move on up the rankings and in your career, you have to kind of be, like a Justin Gaethje approach. He never takes short notice fights.
Yeah, I mean, short notice fights are getting harder for me just because of weight, but I think I would still take short notice fights. It's not that big of a deal for me. Weight cut is one of the biggest issues, and I fought with injuries before. I mean, even quite recently, I fought with injuries. It's not the biggest problem.
All right. Well, is it safe to say like physically and even mentally, you're at your prime right now?
Mentally, I would say so. I really would say so. Mentally and spiritually, I would say I'm in my prime. I got a lot of things. I believe responsibility and privilege are what makes a man. So that I feel very privileged and I feel very responsible right now. So I got more motivation and I'm more focused because of it.
All right, your upcoming opponent, Drakkar Klose, you guys were set to fight last summer, and then an injury pulled you from that fight. He was pretty bitter about the pullout, and he said that you're scared to fight him, which is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of ridiculous because fighters are never really scared. You fight each other for a living. So when you saw that, and what was running through your mind?
Yeah, I think he was just trying to start like a back and forth. Maybe he would get him more followers. I don't know, man, because I've had 16 fights in the UFC. Whoever they've called me, I fought. I fought Brazilians, I fought Americans, I fought Russians, Dagestani guys. It's never really been an issue. So I don't know why he would think that, but let him think the way he wants. I'm not his therapist. My job is to show up for the fight.
This is not the first time someone has had bad blood with you? Because it seems like you really don't have bad blood with anybody. So is there anybody in the previous?
Not that I can think of, actually, now that you mention it. No, I mean, I would say everything's been pretty cool with all the guys I fought. I mean, I know Johnson, when we fought, he wasn't happy with the decision, but I don't think him and we even had issues.
Now going into a fight, at least, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have issues with Drakkar. I get it. He wants to feed his family. I understand that. I didn't show up to the date. It was my responsibility, and he's upset. Fine, but see you March 7th. That's all I can do.
All right. So when you face a guy like Drakkar who does not have a finish in the UFC and who does not get finished, is there a different mentality heading into this fight?
No, I mean, I wasn't really thinking that he's never been finished or he doesn't finish people. I just try to break the person down and deal with the problems and what he's great at and where his weaknesses are. And if I can attack those things properly, I get a finish. Because, I think if you look at my last two opponents, they had their strengths, and I had to pull them out of their strengths to get the finish. And that's what I plan on doing with this fight.
Yeah, definitely phenomenal performances in your last two. Going to your training, your coach, Rafael Cordero, you've been working with him over the years, developing your game with him. What has that experience been like for you? I always wondered because, he has been around the game for since the beginning, basically the birth.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time, man. I mean, even before Pride, he was around. So it's great to have him as my coach. We have such a close relationship. We have like a father-son relationship. He was one of my groomsmen in my wedding. I mean, as close as you're gonna get, and having him in my corner is it's awesome. My last fight, it was the first fight in the UFC where I didn't have him in my corner, and I got to tell you, it felt different. So I'm glad to have him back.
Who have you been working with, in this camp, getting your rounds in with?
My sparring partners don't really change too much. I got Calvin. I have Arthur Estrazulas, Giga Chikadze. Giga just made his UFC debut. He's a glory kickboxer. Marvin Vittori. And then I have my jiu-jitsu guys from Home Bahau, all world champions, all guys. And when I train jiu-jitsu, it's kind of it's actually discouraging. All the guys I train jiu-jitsu with they're monsters. So I'm always getting beat up in jiu-jitsu, and then people are like, "Oh, your jiu-jitsu is so good." I'm like, I can only explain to you what good jiu-jitsu is. So it's interesting. And then I have my wrestling coach Marcus Mollica. I work with him on a regular basis. Same people. I haven't really changed anybody.
It seems like you found the recipe though, because you're resurging in your career.
Yeah, I mean the people's haven't changed since day one. The recipe is just going back to what it used to be, being able to train 2 a day. I think that's really been it.
So when you break down Drakkar, like what do you see in his skill set?
Aggressive guy. I think people try to make it sound like he's not an intelligent fighter. He's just an aggressive fighter. But actually, all his fights, like you mentioned, they do go to a decision. And to win a 3-round fight, it does take intelligence. It takes intelligence in not making mistakes. It takes the ability to stay focused in a fight. So he does have that. He knows how to stay in that fight. So that's something I've noticed. And I don't want to get too much into it, but he's a capable fighter.
Definitely. Now, I wanted to pick your brain about a fight coming up. Khabib versus Ferguson, UFC 249. It's happening soon. Hopefully it happens. Crossing the fingers, everybody is.
Sick.
As a fan, are you excited about this matchup, or are you not really worried about it?
I am, actually. I really am, because if you think about it, stylistically, Tony does pose a lot of great threats to Khabib. Do I think he's the guy to do it? I'm still leaning towards Khabib, but I think he's pretty close to the guy to do it, because he also has that crazy conditioning. He can hurt you from anywhere, and so it'll be an interesting fight. I think in order for Khabib to win, he has to kind of dominate early and dominate hard and take away all the weapons of Tony. Because if not, if Tony gets, feels good in the first 1 or 2 rounds, I mean, he's just going to take over. I think you have to shut him down, and you have to shut him down early.
Have you trained with either one of those guys in the past?
No, they're not my teammates. I don't train with those guys.
So you don't really cross train at all?
I mean, if guys come to Kings, I'll train with them. I'm not going to be like, no, I can't train with you. I'm trying to think. I've trained with Justin Gagey. That's one guy I've trained with. He when I fought Colorado, he opened up his gym to me and let me train there. And then he said, oh, hey, I'll jump in and train with you guys. He's such a nice guy, man. So I consider him a friend. He's someone I've trained with. I'm trying to think of other guys that I haven't really trained with too many other guys outside of our gym.
So you're very loyal to your gym, because you see a lot of guys that go everywhere. They're like one camp, they're training here, another camp, they're training there. What do you think about that philosophy?
I don't have a problem with it. My thing is, I could be training with this guy, and then 3 months later, I'm fighting him, and then the people I train with, are they for me? Are they against me? It can get a little bit. It could, get stuck in the back of your head. With my team, I don't have to worry about that. I know everybody's for me. No one's going to try to hurt me. All my all my practices are injury-free. So that's what I like about having my own guys. And I like my family. I consider my teammates my family. I like to invest in everybody who invests in me.
All right. One last thing before I let you go. Success in combat sports, in your mind, in your opinion, is it belts? Is it legacy? Is it money? What is it to you?
Honestly, I don't have an answer for that yet. So
Mm.
I don't consider myself successful yet. So maybe when my career is over, I can give you a better answer. But right now, I I like doing what I'm doing. I like doing it to glorify my Father in heaven, and I just want to continue to do that. But maybe down the line, once I retire, you can ask me that again, and I'll have a better answer.
Oh, no doubt I will. March 7th, UFC 248, big card, Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. Thank you so much, Benil, for the time. I really appreciate it. Good luck on the fight. Good luck on all the other stuff that you're doing outside the cage. And we'll speak again.
My pleasure, bro. Take care.